Hello, thank you for joining me today. And today I'm going to share with you some news regarding to the XR. So the first news is on venturebeat.com. And the title is called Special Partners with Ready Player Me for a Better Avatar Experience. So yeah, so this article talks about that Spatial.io is partnering with Ready Player Me. And so if you can see the picture or if you can get the article, you will see that the avatar is no longer chopped in the middle and then without legs. Now you can see full body movement. Yeah, so I think this will be a revolutionized invention or partnership because when I was in the BR space, I always feel it's not really real just because I couldn't see my legs, right? And it's very uncommon to see somebody who float just to see their face and two hands. That's it. And sometimes there's no body, right? So I think this can kind of enhance the experience of meeting people just because we see their full body and we can feel more and it's more immersive experience. For example, yeah, but what I'm concerning is that if we have legs, right, then well, these legs follow our real legs, right? If so, then, for example, if I want to walk from here to there, right? Then how can this leg pair up with the our real leg? Hello, Wesley. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. So this news, I just want to recap. Before I'm mentioning that in venturebeat.com, there's an article talks about Spatial.io partners with Ready Player Me for better avatar experience by putting legs on each avatar. So you can see full body, right? Full body avatars inside the virtual space. The question that I was raising is that, well, these virtual legs follow our physical legs. For example, if I, if my legs have some different movement, well, these virtual legs follow my movement, or it's just a legs, like it's just legs that static, just attached under my avatar, right? It's just if is that static or we can move according to our will, right? So this is one question. And another question is more technical question. If so, then how can the headset track the legs, right? Because we know that the camera probably only can detect the hands and probably won't be able to detect the legs. So while we have another, I don't know, sensors or device attached to our legs, so we will have a better experience for legs, right? So yeah, and also you see like in virtual world, we can kind of teleporting, right? And we walk, right? But we can use controller and represent the walk. But if we have to, sync our virtual legs to sync the physical legs to the virtual legs, then how will it be, right? How can we kind of make it more real, right? Yeah, so hello, me, right? Hello, do you want to unmute yourself? Hello.
Yeah, sorry, it's Michael.
Oh, Michael, yeah. Cool, awesome. Yeah, hi, Michael. Yeah, we will talk about the Spatial.io just partner with Ready Player Me for better avatar experience. So before our avatar were, cut in the middle of our torso, right? So pretty much we don't have any button. We don't have any legs. So you can see your peers or yourself will be a head. Sometimes it's just head and two hands, right? But some of them are better, has a body, right? That's it, floating in the virtual space. However, after the partnership, you can see legs right now in Spatial. I find out it's intriguing, but I have some questions. For example, that this virtual legs move according to our physical legs, or it's just static there, right? And will it be even weird that your legs, you move your legs and you see your virtual legs is not moving, right? And how can we move around the space, right? Maybe teleporting is fine, but for example, if we use controller and trying to move forward and backward, well, the legs move around or it's just static there. So it's just some of my questions. And if we want to do, the physical legs syncing with our virtual legs, well, we need some devices attached to our physical legs. So, so it will work better. Yeah, then we probably need a treadmill, right? So we won't bump into our physical, furniture. Yeah, it's just some of my thoughts. Do you have any thoughts regarding to the news? Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Hi. To me, it just seems a little strange, this problem, because like in computer gaming and such, we've had 3D animation for over 10 years. So it seems a little bit strange why when we go towards this VR stuff, that right now we're limited to just above the waist. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
okay, yeah, because I understand one problem is synchronizing. If we want to synchronize our avatar with our physical body, okay, so that is a serious problem if you want to move along. But um, but as far as you controlling a 3D character and moving it around, I mean that's been done in gaming. There are all sorts of ways to just let you walk your character walk in a game. We've had that for over 10 years.
Yeah. So what do you see this partnership? Do you think it's a good move, or you think it's kind of fine but need more, advanced, thoughtful inputs to make it more real? Yeah.
Well, I guess it shows we need some more work, but wow, okay. So it's an important nuance. I guess the hardest problem seems to be the synchronizing if you want to physically walk and synchronize your real legs to your avatar's legs. So yeah, that could be a hard problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same as me, because I think right now, the reason why it's only to your hands is because the camera only can detect hands, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't really detect down to legs. So that's why everything is floated. It's like half human being, right? And being chopped, legs being chopped.
Yeah.
But now with the legs being implemented, I'm wondering maybe in the future we need some, some physical shoes, so and with some sensors or some some bands, some device. So yeah, so it will sync better to with the headset. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts. But I think it's cool because I think it's pioneer. It's finally we got a full body. We weren't having chopped, right? This is great. Okay, so yeah, Michael, do you have any thoughts for the news? Feel free to share your thoughts.
Yeah, no, this is my first time here, so I'm just sort of hanging out and trying to learn as much as possible.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I can say that I've been running this kind of show, sometimes just myself, right? Talking to myself for like 84 weeks or more, right? And then what I learned is that there's no right or wrong, or to see something, to learn something, and I just keep talking, and I'm glad that people with me and just share your thoughts, and everything should be fine. And since this is so pioneer, and the reason why we are here, just everyone is learning. So I think, yeah, if you have any thoughts, feel free to share, and we are all open to your thoughts. Okay, so this is the first news. And the second one is I really like those types of articles and trying to organize the a lot of different fragile information on the internet. So this article helps us to summarize 7 essential ingredients of Metaverse. This news is on future.a16z.com. And yeah, so yeah, the title of this news is called, or article is called 7 Essential Ingredients of Metaverse. So yeah, so first, the Metaverse is such a, buzzword right now. So somebody, because it's interesting that previously I post that we had an event talks about the sandbox, why people call it Metaverse. And I got another audience who kind of posts like, hey, nobody knows what's Metaverse. How can you even talk about it as an expert? And yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because I heard somebody said that the reason why people talk about a certain topic is because people don't know about that topic. If people fully understand some certain topic, and people will stop talking and nobody will start writing books. So you see, like, Metaverse is flourish is because, yeah, we don't really know what's that, right? So yeah, I feel like it's interesting to see like people trying to understand this topic, right? So yeah, so let's see this news. Okay, so first we can see, like, according to the categories, right? You can see Metaverse is more open, right? And virtual world is more closed, right? So yeah, so virtual world means traditional 3D open sandbox game, right? And then Metaverse means more open, decentralized. So yeah, so because a lot of people will ask questions like, why should I make NFT? Like in game, can we just have a 3D model that we sell? Because you get something like 3D model. Why we have to secure or have a smart contract? I think it's kind of like something like ownership, decentralized, and also user can control, right? Because in this article, it talks about Metaverse, right? It's more decentralized, right? And virtual world is more centralized. For example, like Fortnite, right? It's centralized. It's owned by some certain group, right? Or Minecraft, right? It's centralized, right? It's owned by Microsoft. But Metaverse, like Decentraland, the sandbox, it's not centralized by a certain, I would say still, somebody created, still have some ways to own a certain part, but the entire platform pretty much is not being controlled by a certain group or organization. Yeah, and the Metaverse, the property rights is cryptographical enforced. And then the virtual world, which you need to see the terms of service, right? We are so used to living in the virtual world because you see, if we go to a website, if it is being legalized or you want to do business on it, you have to have terms of service, right? Or you launch an app, you have to have an online page which talks about all the terms of service, all those types of things. Or Apple won't let you publish, right? So it's interesting to see that you see even the property rights, one is defined by the platform or defined by the person who owns that virtual world. However, as for Metaverse, it's cryptographical enforced. So which means that this is pretty much, not really owned by anybody. It's existing on its own, right? And then code, Metaverse will be open source, right? And virtual world, it will be people who work in that organization. They know all the source code and it's not published. Yeah, and as for data, Metaverse is transparent while virtual world is opaque, which means you couldn't even get all the data inside this platform, which is very interesting, right? And the Metaverse, when you access, right, it's permissionless, which means everyone can get it, right? So you don't need to get the permission. However, in virtual world, it's limited and you need to get permission from that platform, right? For example, you need to sign in, create an account in a lot of different 3D games. Just think that virtual world is a traditional 3D games, right? You play a lot of like online 3D games. It's because right now you see Metaverse and virtual world. It's kind of the elements or visual from far away. It's pretty much the same, right? People still there and you talk, chat with people, but the difference is that you see you have to create account. However, Metaverse, you still need to create an account, but you know, there's some permission stuff that virtual world, you need to get permission from the organization. But Metaverse, as long as you provide your information, you almost can get it, right? And ownership, this entire Metaverse is owned by the entire community, right? And virtual world is owned by corporate, right? By the big corporation. And then identity, right? Identity, as for Metaverse, it's bundled and user controlled, right? However, as for virtual world, which is our current game 3D world, is pretty much centralized identity providers. For example, like whoever or the game, right? League of Legends, right? They provide you like different avatars. Then you need to accept, you need to pick, right? However, in Metaverse, you have to create your own identity, right? You create your own person instead of just pick something that the platform owner the platform owner will give you options and you have to pick which one you like. So it's less personalized, right? And as for Metaverse, the content policy, pretty much user can choose what policy, right? And there's a community that user can pick or user can vote, right? However, in the virtual world, it's pretty much the platform. The platform is the kind of the king, right? Pretty much they can pick whatever they want, right? And as for Metaverse, Metaverse is like pretty much user and network, right? And the value is user and all the network. However, the value of the virtual world is more platform owner. As for acquisition, Metaverse is more cross roots and incentive, which means everyone can have a share, a piece of it. As for virtual world, it depends on ads. Yeah, so it's very different. And as for Metaverse, as for social part, is direct. You need to, you can direct to connect with people. And as for virtual world, you need to mediate, right? And it's very interesting just to see the entire comparison. So I think some other difference, including decentralized, right? The Metaverse is decentralized and property rights. People owns the property instead of renting it, because before, when we are in games, we probably rent the game, rent the property instead of owning it, right? And the sovereign identity. So pretty much in Web 2, pretty much the entire platform owns the sovereignty, right? govern the entire platform. So as for Metaverse, it's pretty much the users can self-governance, which means the community inside that group can govern. And all the number 4 one is the composability, which means that everything will be break down into pieces, and we can easily create something, right? So yeah, cool. Okay, so number 5 is openness and open source. So yeah, so as for Metaverse, it's more open source. So we have to, you can get the open source and start creating your Metaverse. However, the platform is more, in-house, right? Everything is inside their organization and start working on it. Community ownership, as for Metaverse, it's DAO, right? Decentralized autonomous organizations, which means that the community has the right to vote, how to handle some, for example, like a misbehavior, some other, some issues, people can vote. However, in centralized, it's pretty much the platform or the organization behind that platform can vote or decide whether they want to kick out the user or not. So this is very different, right? And then the number 7th one is social immersion, which means that before COVID, we pretty much use 2D video streaming platform. However, just be inside Metaverse, we feel much closer to it because it's 3D world with the kind of like 3D representation avatar, right? We feel closer to people, even in the virtual world. And we can hear the spatial sound instead of the video streaming, right? So yeah, so this will have more social immersion to people when they want to communicate, collaborate, right? Okay, so I think this article really helped me to understand the entire difference or comparison between the game platform, online game platform, virtual world versus the Metaverse. So I think this article talks very well about how to differentiate about those two different types of world. Okay, another article is called Virtual Land Rush is Driving Up the Cost of Space in the Metaverse. Okay, so this news is on CBS News. You can go to cbsnews.com. And the title is called Virtual Land Rush is Driving Up the Cost of Space in the Metaverse. Okay, so in this article, it talks about how virtual world is getting more expensive and more expensive. We all know that real estate is rising, right? When COVID hits, people tend to want to get something more stable, right? Less risk during COVID. So real estate just rock, people just flooding, and every piece of land in real world, it becomes so expensive. Right now, it turns to the digital land, right? So before, it seems like right now the digital property is kind of like hitting $500 million, but this trend can make the entire virtual reality real estate industry up to 5 billion market by 2026, which is, I would say, 100 or 1,000 times more. So this is a big move, just because right now it seems like the virtual land can help people because there's no limitation. There's no limitation for physical boundary or no limitations to imaginations. So people can freely to create their marketing or their events on this virtual platform, and it can accept everyone as long as they have VR headset, right? So it can accommodate more guests to your event. So it seems like when people see its value, the real estate is going rocket high. So pretty much a piece of a parcel of land across the 4 major places doubled to 12K during a 6-month period this year. So, I mean, when I first see the real estate in virtual world, I personally think that, wow, what can I do with that piece of land, right? A lot of people questioning like, hey, if I want to get this land and I don't like the neighbor, what should I do, right? Or if I want to, do something, but this virtual land seems like not really helpful, right? But if you think this as a marketing tools to your brand, right? It's a virtual place you can host, and people can, join from all over the world. I think this is a marketing or some types of special experience for membership only, right? And this probably worth it. Yeah. So everyone just jump in and want to buy a piece of that. So it start rocking, right? So yeah, I mean, you can see like previously Snoop Dogg's, he's the top number one people, or like selling its own personal brand or personal design in the same box. You see, like last time it was reported sold 450K in December, so which is 500,000, right? So you see, I can see the value is going up, right? Because there are some real useful commercial inside it. So people who get the first train usually, gets the benefit from it. Hello, Wesley. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so I would say, you see, like, look at this trend. I personally think that the real estate in digital space is will become a phenomena. So if you want to buy a piece of land, if you have extra cash, yeah, you want to buy a little pixel square, which worth like 12,000. Yeah, feel free to do so, and maybe you will get double down by a lot of after a few months. So okay, so another news is Qualcomm. It's Yahoo Finance. So if you go to finance.yahoo.com, you can see this news. The title of the news is called Qualcomm CEO said that the metaverse could be as big as smartphones. So I think this probably will be true, just because you see, like right now, people are flooding into this area, and in this area, it seems like there are a lot of promising stuff to do, is including metaverse. The metaverse, you see like NFT, digital twins, the entire brand built on top of metaverse, right? And people are trying to get their own identity, get in and have another life inside the virtual world. And especially you see like all the interesting movement. So yeah, I mean, I think we need to have the hardware down, right? Hardware first, then software, right? After the infrastructure being built, then content join in, and it will be a sustainable. For example, like more people working in this area, and it can be a sustainable ecosystem inside metaverse. Then we can say that maybe our physical world is just to survive, right? We eat food, we sleep, we take shower, but everything. But I feel like right now, because of pandemic, I feel like my physical body is pretty much survive my life, right? Make sure I'm alive. However, the virtual world or the online world seems pretty much occupy my day for 90% of my time, right? So yeah, pretty much imagine it's more immersive, right? So probably we will need to have some assistance inside the virtual world to remind us to drink more water, to exercise. I have a smartwatch which always tell me, hey, time to stand up, or hey, time to get out of the chair and go out for exercise, right? So maybe we will have some reminders, remind us to take some rest, drink more water, eat your dinner, right? To help us to survive. Yeah, so it's very interesting that if Metaverse can be as big as smartphone, right? Smartphone pretty much occupy us and become one of the essential product that we need. If that becomes that, then I can see that our physical body becomes, or our physical life becomes something that more survival, right? More for us to continue our life. As for the virtual world, will be our everyday important meeting, work, right? Meeting people, and physical body is to make sure we're still alive. It's very interesting to see the world this way. Yeah, but I think, yeah, I mean, we all talk about the future because we don't know about future. However, we can define our future, right? If we want to do something about it, and we look up all the news and understand more about what will the future become, then we can be better prepared, or be better working on something and prepare for the future, or even, be more bold. We create something for the future. Yeah. So thank you. So those are the news for this week, and thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully see you next week. Okay, bye bye.